All right, so we'll move on straight to the business of the day. So we're looking at enterprise systems knowledge tools. So the ERP business case unit overview. Now, for a business, so a business must have five, at least, must have an operation of five modules: production, it has finance, it has sales, human resource. Yes, are some of those key modules that a typical business is supposed to be made. So now you are bringing your business on board the SAP. You want to be an adopter of SAP. So we're going to use your business case. We're going to use that as now being transformed to an ERP business. So you're just seeing a business being operated on the on an ERP, on, let's say, an SAP software, typical of SAP software. So the first thing here is that the ERP business case, you have to understand the cost. There are cost implications. And then you have to identify the benefits and benefit realization. So these are two things that motivates or venture you have to put at the back of your mind before you want to adopt the ERP. Now, the ERP costs are majorly the hardware, the software cost, implementation service cost, and then the broader organizational cost. So you are adopting an ERP system, so you have to use hardware. So there are some hardware that you have to purchase, then software. Then you need a client to handle that for you. And then there are some other costs, some things that it will cost you as you move on with your business on the ERP system. Now, what are the benefits? Broadly, we're going to look at details into these. You have integration, business integration, and then you have your business improvement, business process improvement. So costs are incurred upfront. Costs are incurred upfront, and there is a tendency for us to underestimate it. Now, underestimation is just like saying, okay, I bought a car, very brand new car, and then you are not concerned with maintenance. You are not thinking about what is the service charge like, what is the maintenance of this, how frequently am I going to maintain this car? So you just picked any car, give me a V8 car, and you don't know the fuel consumption. So sometimes an adopter is blinded to certain costs that are involved. So there is an upfront cost. You have to pay for certain things before you are onboarded system. So benefits are hardly to quantify. These are facts. So the benefits sometimes are hardly to quantify. It's not that you have a naira as a direct naira transaction of the benefit you get adopting this platform. So, but they're only accrued after implementation. So we're going to see. So there's a term you have to hold on to, which is called productivity. So productivity is in a way tied to efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency and effectiveness that comes with such a platform. So benefit realization is done poorly. So we're going to come to that and see how this runs in the business. So as I said, it's not something you just sit down with your pen and pencil and say, okay, I have made this particular revenue using directly attuned to the ERP system. So this is an example of a study that was carried out by Panorama Consulting Solutions on the benefits of ERP systems and implication based on customer satisfaction on the different ERP systems. So you can look up this report and read what is the customer market and what is the customer voice. What are the customer voices are in the market? What are they saying about ERP? Those that are adopted. What are they saying? about the cost and the benefit incurred. All right, so we're going to there's out of these voices, particular project as a case study, which is called the project Kantinga. So which implemented SAP in record time. So they took 18-month implementation, which include HR and payroll, finance and accounting, financial accounting, management accounting, asset management, materials management, procurement, real estate, plant maintenance, revenue management, and billing. So these are all products from the SAP. So they took 18 months to be onboarded into the SAP development and all that. So the cost was around 3 million rupees. Um, and okay, 3 million rand, yes, it's a South African country, 3 million rand. The number of SAP users was around 6,000. First release was done in the first 10 months, where HR and payroll, financial accounting, these are modules that they adopted, and it took them 10 months for them to start implementing the SAP in their business. So project you could think that is staffed with approximately 270 resources from City of Cape Town, and their implementation partners are Accenture, Maseko, EPIUs, SAP, and then Cornerstone. These are their resource partners. So one of the biggest and most aggressive SAP implementation in the world. So this is taken as one of the largest and the most aggressive. So aggressive in the terms of the time it took, the scope, the cost that was involved. So you see how big how large the project is, and they look at the cost that was involved for them to be involved as one of the largest adopter of SAP in record time. Now, this cost that we talked about, example for that, for the Tinga, you can think that the costs are around hardware costs, which has to do with servers, networking, client, and storage. So I think we have overemphasized the fact that systems they run remotely, they run online, they run using networking. So there must be connectivity between a service and then you as the adopter. So there must be need for networking, internet connectivity. So there must be the need for there must be a client. So when you see what clients are as we move on and all that. So that it could be physical structures now. You have to buy modem, you have to buy this, you have to buy you have to have your own server as this, your server provider, you have to pay a storage, memory storage somewhere that handles all the transactions for you. There are software costs also. That's to do with database management, ERP licenses, application licenses, operating systems. Yes, these are the software costs that must incur. So all right. So these are some of the costs. The next is implementation service cost. So since this is like a new system to an adopter, there is need for training, there is need for customization, development, there is need for change management. Oh, we are adding more plans. We want to go this, we want to go global, we want to add this and that. So there is need for change management. There's also need for project management. So you need a third party to handle certain part of your operation. So these are some of the implementation costs. And lastly, the broader organizational cost that talks about what are the initial productivity losses, what are the opportunity costs for you coming on board. Your employees need to be trained. So in those part of the time when they are trained, there is probably loss of production. Times where they have to do trial and error, have to make mistake, and then you have to make correction. That could be production losses too, and some other losses that you incur at the initial stage of the implementation. So this is an example of the costs, examples of the costs that are involved. All right. So the bulk of the costs are implemented implementations. The bulk of costs are on implementation services, and sometimes they are most often understated in terms of the implementation, in terms of training, in terms of customization, in terms of designing, in terms of development, as we saw in the product cycle. So that is where the most costs are involved. So there's an example here that gave that an ERP consultant earned approximately $98,000 per annum. $98,000 per annum. So that's the approximate amount an ERP consultant will take from you. So you see that cost goes into the implementation and service cost. So that's a very huge one compared to other costs, compared to licenses for server, for software, compared to networking devices and storage devices. The implementation cost appears to be the biggest, the largest or the biggest chunk in the ERP cost. Now, software costs are sometimes you can reduce your software cost by using open sources or off the premise option. So you can have a host instead of having physical storage. You can decide to use cloud. You can decide to use software as a service, active server pages, PSP for hosting some of these things. Instead of having a physical storage and then having a storeroom for data, you can reduce certain of these hardware costs, software costs, by using software as a service, by using a third-party client, hosting certain part of your services to be provided. So database systems and operating system also can be from a service provider. So what you're most concerned is the ERP licensing fees. So often multiple systems, often priced per module too, based on user categories and all that. So you are concerned with the licensing. So you are not dealing with physical structure as the case may be for ERP system. It's usually based on multiple servers. You can say, okay, multiple systems. It as I said, it's customizable. Depends on the module you want. I want finance, I want materials management, I want that. So the pricing is based on module. So you can see the variable cost here. And also based on the categories of users. The bigger names, sometimes there are some clients, there are some consultants that you go to help you do this. Their fees are based on the consultant, and fees are based on other variable costs around this. So ongoing ERP, annual maintenance fee and charges. Yes, so there are maintenance charges that are embedded. There are upgrades that may be paid for, or there's a new feature that needs to be paid for, so you can do that. So all these are assumed to be the software costs that are involved in the ERP. So hardware costs are your client server architecture. She said the other time, network storage. If you want to host your server yourself, you can do that. If you want to host a storage, you can do that. You want to provide a physical storage, you can do that. So clients are SAP clients and your browser, your a PC, your mobile. So all these are hardware that you provide yourself um, that will help to be integrated into the ERP architecture. So multiple layers of server in a system, landscape, development, quality assurance, production, disaster recovery. You can have all of this as part of your hardware. You would have a quality assurance structure in place. You could have your own um, development team, and whatever gadget you are using are part of what you incorporate into hosting an ERP and system. So these are various hardware costs that are involved. Now, for an SAP GUI requirement, I think this is very mundane to us because I think we have passed here. So the memory size required is 512 megabytes and 1 gig RAM, processor speed. So I think a typical system will have all this. A typical system will have Windows Vista, 2008 server, Windows 7. So at least. So we now run on Windows 11. So you can see that we are more advanced than most of these requirements. So you can see that the SAP GUI can run in almost of the present day systems. So the present day systems will have all of these or most of these features. So local installation, 11 megabytes minimum package. So we see the size and then some other features that are involved for as a requirement of a system that can run the SAP GUI. Implementation cost, as we said, forms a chunk of it. So business analysts and ERP consultants. So recommend and map new business processes, specify customizing and development, customize your system based on your business requirement. So these are people that actually do the customization for you. So they are the one to help you onboard your business on the platform. So they are just a soft skill that are involved. So developers also develop modifications. So based on identify gaps, oh, I need this particular thing that is not involved, that is not in the basic SAP and GUI, in the basic SAP software. I need this particular feature. And you can host it, you can ask a developer to do that for you. So you have to pay for a service. Project management, you have things you are doing, you want a third party to help you manage and run the process. So you can have that also involved. Then training and change management. So companies can only benefit from the ERP system if they use them to make their business process more efficient and more effective. So we can say that will be more productive. And how can you do this? You have to train your staff to use this system. So the system cannot by itself make profit or run itself or transform your business to being operational. So the people managing this, the people running this, they must understand clearly how the system works. They must be part of the system. They must in a way be part of the software because they are the one to run the software. And the benefit will only come from running the software. And also changes. So once they are on the system, on the software, and they understand how it operates, they can make changes that will benefit your business. So that is what training is very important for realizing the benefit of the system. So you're going to pay for your business analysts, you're going to pay for developers, pay for project management, project managers. Also, you pay for training and developing your staff on using this platform. So other implementation costs, which is the fourth one, are the key employee time. As you said, staff will go for training. There is probably a new development in UK that will benefit your company. You can send the staff to their headquarters in UK to go and learn that particular package or to learn that particular module. So all these costs by the business. You in that process, there's also when you're trying to onboard, there could be downtime. There could be production losses also. Oh, server was bad. I've been to a bank before and they said server was bad, and the workers are there, and they were idle. So that you have idle cost, loss of production time. There could be loss of goodwill too. Yes, there could be initial loss of goodwill. A particular customer comes and he, we are unable to attend to the person because finance is not responding. We couldn't do some of this transaction. Our app was not working, and he decides to like, oh, let me leave. So there could be loss of goodwill as part of those productivity and key employee losses that can be incurred. This can be translated indirectly into naira and kobo, into cost. So that's some of the things we need to look at. So ERP benefits in the literature. For example, the MOQA these are some people that have adopted SAP and they are giving us certain info or insight into the benefit. So this has been categorized. So what are some of the benefits? They are basically in business process and integration. Business process and integration. So in the business process, we're looking at cost reduction over time. Oh, I need somebody to go to probably the VC's office to inform the VC that I'm going to send a memo to VC. So the time is going to take and the cost is going to take me to the VC's office. Now, compared to me just sitting down and then sending a memo to all the HODs that has been authenticated by the VC. So everybody can see real time, a memo has been passed, a transaction has taken place. So I don't need to go and meet finance to sign a way bill. Or I don't need to go and meet the materials manager to sign a way bill to take out certain materials from the store. So we see there's a lot of cost reduction in that. There's a reduction in cycle time. Yes, there's a real-time information. So right from my desk, as a warehouse manager, I can see what the level of inventory I have in the store. I can see it because it has been updated. Finance can see it. Finance doesn't need to go to the warehouse to take stock count or to liaise with the manager. Everything is seen on the screen. There's scalability, there's reduction in human error, there is sales increase, there's potential sales increase. So productive time will be converted into useful time. So there is growth in revenue turnover and profitability over time. So what are the managerial benefits? There is internal data integration. So once I make a transfer of a product, the manager to receive it sees it. The finance to authenticate the naira changes or the changes sees it immediately. There's elimination of data redundancy. So finance doesn't have to keep a record of transaction that took place. Warehouse manager doesn't need to keep his own record. Records are stored as master data centrally. Everybody sees it. So everybody is involved in the business process. So everybody is carried along immediately. So once a transaction takes place, master data is updated across the business operation, and which is same. So there's real-time business intelligence. So everybody is aware what has just taken place. There's improved information visibility. Yes, it's clear. So it's not that the manager is holding a record that is different from that of finance or that of production. So production and whatever they are taking from the warehouse balances what has been used in production. So there is real-time business intelligence and information visibility. There's improved stock and financial control, as I said. So whatever goes out of the company is updated. We know, except there are some key packings that are being played inward and which can be easily be detected. So strategic benefits, so supply chain integration and customer relations management, electronic commerce, adherence to standard of practice. Now we see that we see vendors being integrated, not some, all vendors uh, that are ERP inclined are integrated. Customers are integrated too as part of the system. So they can easily make purchase. You can easily place a purchase order for our product. You can easily transfer our product to the delivery man. The delivery man goes there to pick the product and move straight to the customer. The customer confirms that he has received the product all on the same platform, that they have received the product. Money is being transferred, purchase is made, account is updated immediately. So all this, you see, everything have been integrated as part of the strategy. Everything is done electronically, except for physical deliveries, but all transactions, data transfer, information transfer, they're all done electronically. And we can say that this is typically adherence to standard practice. Just imagine Nigerian government running on SAP. So where the CBN manager knows how much that is being made, budget knows how much that is, senators are aware of how much is there. So consider corruption can be reduced because of this standard practice. Now the next thing is development of IT structure. Yes, there's IT compliance. Everything is relevant to the current day operation. Broader organizational, so there is empowerment of staff. Employees are be happy. Yes, there's satisfaction. At least I can easily do my work right from my room, right from my office, and it promotes organizational change. So if there's going to be an effect, there's going to be a change. It affects all of them. So there is improvement in the business process. So these are some of the benefits of the SAP and their various categories. Let's look at this case study here of Pick and Pay, which is an example of a company that runs on SAP. So this is titled Establishing a Solid Foundation for Growth. So it's a retail company with a revenue of about 3.5 billion euros. Employees of over 38,894 employees in South Africa. So look at the solutions they have adopted. SAP for Retail Solutions, which include SAP Forecasting and Replenishment Application, SAP POS Data Management Application, SAP ERP Application, SAP NetWeaver. These are products on the SAP. There are various products, as we said. Business Warehouse Component, SAP Business One Application. Then the implementation partner. So these are people that help them. These are like the consultant. So they help them handle their product. But their challenge is, yes, the place is expensive to maintain in-house software solutions that limit ability to address business needs. So that was a challenge. Oh, these people have invested so much in so many infrastructure that needs to be changed. Sharpen competitive edge and improved ability to pursue opportunities, enhance decision making with access to integration information, refocus on core business, and improve operating efficiencies were some of the initial challenges they had faced. And were there any benefits? Okay, let's see. Implementation best practices. So they used ASAP methodology for implementation, supported by executive sponsorship, involved cross-functional team members, assigned audit team to keep project on track, created business transformation teams, adopted best practices supported by SAP, used post-implementation sweeper teams to resolve issues in each region. So these were their reports. And then take note that they said adopted best practices supported by SAP. Now, why was SAP selected? Uh, supported support for processes meeting business requirements. So the way it was able to meet their business requirements. There's advanced nature of technology. So we said constant updates and updates of the ERP system. There's inherent integration of components. So the business is well integrated. All the components, all their warehouses, everything was onboarded in the SAP. So there was depth of industrial reliability of the SAP brand. SAP is a global brand, and which has been tested and trusted. So this is the report talking about their reliability, and then trusted implementation partner. So low total cost of ownership, eliminated legacy systems, reduced number of applications to support, lessen the need for work, thanks to expanded functionality. So these are just some of the benefits they realized when they came on board to SAP. So you don't need to host so many systems. So like someone access today, do I need to bring a Power BI into it? Or do I need to bring a party application into the SAP? So we don't need to run all these systems. So whatever is the challenge, it can be programmed into ERP systems like the SAP that can handle. I need to show a chart of my sales. I need to show some data analysis of my sales or predict future sales and all that. All this can be embedded in the ERP system. It lessens your work. You see so many custom-made fields that you can easily adopt. So you can easily adopt rather than to adapt. You can easily adopt all this functionality into your business. Now, what are the levels of ERP integration in the business? So there are 5 of them: system integration, interface integration, business integration, data integration, and then global integration. All right, we're going to take each of these and then expatiate. System integration. So what is just the buzz about system integration? What I'm just saying is that you just have one interface for all your operations. You have one interface. You want to do finance is in that interface. You want to do warehouse management is there. You want to forecast. You want to do that analysis is there. You don't need to use multiple size systems. I want to log in and see with authorization. I want to log in and see what is obtainable in finance is there. So there is increases of use, there is decreased training. So you understand how the system operates, and then you can easily use it. So there is one system to support. It saves IT expenditure and skills. There is one system. There is one platform that takes care of all of this. Few data interfaces between systems to be fewer data interfaces. So things that are stored in modules. Modules are stored centrally. So this can be accessed from anywhere. So all data that relates to finance, you can easily get it. So they are maintained. So you don't need to duplicate data as it is in the system. Also, achieving data integration is harder. Okay. So data transfer between systems is frequently done with batch conversion programs, which prevent real-time data accuracy. Now, what does this mean? For example, a transfer was made from the store There's a need for the warehouse manager to update. So the system will not update itself. So that's what we're saying. The system will not update itself. So we must trigger some buttons to make sure that whatever we have in the store as physical count, as inventory, as the amount that we have corresponds to that which is in the system. So that's why there's a need for constant updating to capture data accuracy. So data integration, we see that, for example, you use your mobile app to make a transfer. It captures the bank, it captures the recipient, it captures the amount, it captures sometimes some certain codes, some codes that we may not be able to tell. So these are just a flow of data. So from a transaction, you can easily see who received this, where was it taken, who made the transfer, which bank account, so which are traceable. The same thing is applicable here. Let's take an example of a sales and purchasing uh, module. We see the client as you, your business. You see your business, your company code, say your company code in Ibadan. Then you see the plant that is involved. Then you see from which storage location is this transfer being made. So under that, you see information flow between purchasing organization and the sales group, all being interfaced. Then customer and vendor, customer pricing, and then are maintained. Requisition are made from the bank to the vendor. Quote is being made to the customer. All these documents are aggregated into cubes, and then they are stored centrally. So if I look at the vendor and say this vendor supplied bicycles and bicycle frames, so I can see the vendor, I can see his pricing, I can see the date, I can see a purchase order requesting that. So this information are integrated, and all this information can flow centrally and can be shared across all your default business processes. So if finance needs to make a payment, what they just need is, what is the purchase order that was made? What is the sales order that was made? What is this particular document that was made? And then payments can be made. It is the tune of the amount that is there. So that is data integration. You see the up and the down arrow of data integration. So it goes up, it also flows down. It flows across different levels between purchasing group and organization and sales group, between customer and vendor, you see, and all that. There is an interrelationship of data. So data is integrated in a single database. Object that has been looked up and has been taken to be default. This eliminates redundant data, as we said. For example, SAP, the data from material master is entered once and then defaulted in purchasing for ordering, inventory for goods movement, invoice verification for posting invoices, sales and distribution for sales order processing, in production plan and control for materials requirements planning. Oh, I need bicycle XYZ. Production and planning is updated to buy the particular material. Sales and distribution is updated to make a quote for the person. Invoice verification is done for posting invoices. Inventory is updated when they receive the goods movement and when the particular goods has been done or to be shipped to the person. Purchase order is done, and then for ordering. So all these are automatically updated, and then we say a seamless operation, and things will work out smoothly. Yet there is something here that says ERP. Yet ERPs enforce data entry. Data entry needs to be well designed. Too much data entry can constrain core function. So we want to limit as much data as we can to avoid duplicacies. So what this one is saying is just that, for example, a customer has placed an order for a particular goods. It is the customer order that will be used to generate quote, sales quotation. It is that sales quotation that will be used by finance to update the amount the man has paid or is going to pay. So finance will not generate another document that that is independent on previous ones. So there are integration of this data and there's a flow of data, and then this is maintained as minimum as possible, as minimum data as possible to avoid duplicates. Now we move on to the benefits of the level of business integration. Data flow and work flow across business processes. For example, sales order is used by production and accounting to schedule production. Yes, a particular sales order has been made. We check the inventory in the store. Production will check, do we have this particular raw materials to produce the goods? Account is updated to create invoice. So while production is running around to make sure that the goods are supplied, invoices, the finance is being making payment and all that. So we can see that the businesses performed in one unit is visible and impact in real time other units. So if a particular bicycle, a product in the store, is moved from the store and is updated in the system, immediately the value of the total number of goods, which is being held by finance, will be updated automatically. So there's an impact, an instant impact on the system. Also, non-financial activities impact financial activities. And for example, manufacturing uses an item from the inventory. We went to the store and we picked a particular inventory, and the warehouse manager updated it. There's a financial implication to that. So the value of inventory has reduced. The naira equivalent of that has reduced. So the quantity on hand is updated. Inventory value is automatically changed all the ledgers because that product has been moved to production. So after production, and we have the physical product, so inventory also increases, finished goods inventory increases. The quantity of bicycle that we have made increases, and also the level of inventory automatically changes. And then finance is updated, warehouse is updated, sales distribution is updated, and all that. So we can see all this flow centrally. Now, global integration. So every business is bound by local laws and foreign laws in terms of global. So a business that operates in global market is bound by global market. Also, that business that is operating in the local market is also bound by the local laws. So we said that SAP is a global brand, just like every other ERPs or most ERP. So it operates based on the local laws of your business. For example, you have a business in Kano, and there are local laws that applies to Kano. That can be programmed for your client, for your company code in Kano. So Kano operates a naira that is called Kanuri or whatever. So its naira its currency is being used as the basis for transaction in that location. So we can see that you see multiple currencies, you see multiple languages, you see local and foreign procedures and practices. It follows local or national rules and also follows consolidation rules. For example, data is entered once in a global company. Reports within one country is generated following the local rules. You are in Germany and you want to order a Zambike, a product from Zambike, and Zambike operates in their Zambian dollar. So that is being converted. Your euro be converted to that. So to what is obtainable for the sandbox operation. So that's information is so there is a lot of data conversion. There's a lot of consolidation of both international and local regulations. So in summary, in terms of ERP integration, which is the second benefit, you just need one system. I mean, one interface. One interface. You don't need separate interface to operate your system, to operate your business. Sorry, to operate your business. For example, you have a laptop and you have the SAP interface. So you don't need to go and have another laptop that talks about finance. Provide another laptop for that talks about warehouse management. So you're not moving from one system to another you can all do that in one system. You can do that. So we see the interface, just a single interface. Data integration, a common database for all your data that is maintained. It is maintained centrally for all transactions. Business integration is performed in a unit. I mean, in a unit is visible to all other units. All other units. For example, if UI runs on the SAP and a student needs to be transferred, say from the department, industrial to maybe computer science. So what you just need is to make the transactions between the HODs. HODA authenticate it, HODB instruct the level coordinator to go and tell the person to move to computer science. So all those things are done in real time. So there is a global integration that has to do with multiple currencies, languages, and then regulations. Improvement of business processes. Does ERP really improve business processes? Yes. So these are some of the benefits in terms of business improvement. There's automation. Yes, I think we have emphasized automation enough. So the transaction is made and all others are informed. So finance does not need to go and recalculate. It automatically calculates and then updates what is in finance. Data integration and central storage, and then protection of data, business integration, reporting to monitor or manage process, built-in controls. So there are level of controls that are involved. So you can't just go and change anything anyhow in the system. So there are levels of controls that must be built and have been built into the system. Best practices and standard practices. So this implies that the process do change. Yes, processes do change. So change management and training is needed. The system can change. We can upgrade certain things based on your functionality requirement and some other things that you need. And then training and change management are employed. Now, when we are emphasizing best practices, what does it mean? What are we trying to say when we say best practices? So SAP best practices are majorly that it is generic. The core business scenarios that support the most important business needs. So there's a baseline. We all know that once a sales is made, a quotation is made, or a sales is made, that means a payment must be made. And if payment is made, then there must be a show for it. So these are just core business practices. That is the way you run your business. The way you run your business, okay, you come in, you meet your customer here, you make an order, you make payments, all these are embedded, which are generic. Now, best practice also is the second level that is designed to meet industrial specific needs also. Oh, in say Coca-Cola, we give discounts. It's there. We do this. This is the way our business runs. That's different for how Nigerian breweries run its own business. So that is also integrated in the SAP, in the system. So we see industrial packages. So what do you want? You want this, you want that. So it's going to be tailored to your need. Then lastly, under the best SAP best practices, that it focus on areas generally in use across multiple industries. So there is cross-industry package or in packages. So we are saying that there's the integration of what a particular business A is doing, and then also what business B is doing. So if business A and B are running on the same SAP, they can be integrated. Vendors are usually integrated. So once we need something, uh, we can easily discuss with our vendor. So the vendor is also part of the system. So we can see the vendor interface. We can see what they are capable of doing. We can see their price tag, their price, and all that is maintained. SAP solutions based on SAP best practices. Now we're talking about certain packages that are now built for businesses, which is example is a SAP all-in-one business. It's a package. Oh, we just want a comprehensive package of this based on the way we want to run our business. So there's an SAP business all-in-one. There's single point solution to the enterprise. SAP rapid deployment solution, just like a generic model that has been made or a software that has been made. So once you are just coming, we just need to just change the name or change the color, and then you just speak it more like ready-made solution, and then which is very rapid, so you can also adapt that. Then quick access to customer references. Talk about the success stories. All right, so best practice defined. So when we say best practice, we say just a procedure that has been judged to be superior to other methods, that is tested, that is reliable. So many times it is the most efficient way to perform a task. So in the SAP market, the SAP ERP is designed as a one-stop best practice solution with over 800 best practices incorporated in the R3 system, that is the system, application, and product. So the customer can examine many proven processes without the cost of benchmarking themselves against another organization. What we're just trying to say is, you just look at your business and say, oh, my business is this, and I want it to run this way. So I'm going to, and SAP is saying we can make it to run that way. We can make it without you go and look at what is obtainable. What are they doing in Coca-Cola? What are they doing in Nigerian breweries? What are they doing in Guinness? And then bring it to my own system. You can tell this is how my system wants to work. And then there's a product that suits your system. There's a product that suits that system. So standard process may not be best practices. Standard processes may not be the best. So what are we saying? So there are problems with the way best practices are conceptualized. They can't be described through a few characteristics defined in industry surface, so in service. What is best to me might not be best to you. So we say the word best is relative. So mere doing industrial survey, you may not be able to derive the best. So mere copying or transplanting a best practice may never produce that desired result. So that's what we're saying, that this is done this way in this particular place may be the best that suits the operation. So what is best to you must be defined and must suit your business, and then must be in compliance with the human competence. And also, it is an ongoing process. an ongoing learning process. So what is now best today may become obsolete tomorrow. So you now look at your business and say, okay, I need to update, I need to upgrade. So a best practice needs to be assessed within a company's environment and then becomes a catalyst for developing a suitable, sometimes similar practice. That is the organization's best practice. So we'll say that best practice is organizational based, is based on your business, is dependent on your business. It's not just the one size fits all kind of solution. So when you pick a particular package, there is a need to optimize, there's a need to deploy, resource yesterday, to then optimize. In the process of optimization, you are now looking at the edges, pruning the edges that fit in to your system. So ERP offer efficient, automated, standard, average. So average. So for you to now augment the average to fit into your state, to your business, to make it the best practice, that means it has to be tailored into what you are actually doing. So ERP business case review. So in today's class, we've been able to look at the business case and also have an idea of what the cost is and the potential benefit. We dwelt more on the costs, hardware implementation, and some few costs, and also the integration. We see the integration cost, and we had a discussion on how how integration can be realized as a best practice in terms of what your business is all about. All right, so that brings me to the end of the teaching. This is an assessment for us, just a discussion before we go, as I will take feedback and I will take questions quickly. Our time is fast spent. We're 11 minutes or 12 minutes behind schedule. So we'll just take questions basically, and then we'll wrap up with this question. So please, are there feedbacks, there comments, are there reactions to systems knowledge? True. That has to do that with the business case. Yes, just unmute your mic, just tell me your name, and then just make your comment or your question. All right, any question? Any comment? It could be you want to share an experience of just something you've learned that collaborate or contradict what we are having today. And then we'll just share knowledge, and then that will help a lot. Yes, is there any question?
Yes, there is.
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So my question is about the dependence of the system on data.
Yes.
So I want to ask, if there is a case of data entry issue, maybe error or mistakes, how will that be corrected on the system?
Okay, in the case where there is data entry error, more like somebody went to the store and counted 50 and then imputed 60. Now, moving on in the lecture, you're going to be built in maybe in future lectures. There are built-in control. What has been entered into the system, we said master data is very hard to change. So the only solution is prevention. You can't put in 10 today and say, no, it's not 10, it's 9. I made a mistake. Even though mistakes, human error, we can't do without that at least. But in the SAP, as long as the data is imputed, it is recognized, as you said, and it is maintained centrally. Because this data impact other units. So as a business owner, the most important thing is to prevent such an error. So there must be somebody in charge of it. So not just everybody is given authorization to be on the platform. So there are levels of authorization. Oh, this man is in charge of warehousing, and then he has a warehouse manager. It could be that the warehouse manager is the one in charge of entering the data, and then there must be a confirmation. So if there are mistakes, to my best knowledge, then some certain level of authorization needs to be taken to make changes. So you'll be taught on that, some level of authorization that needs to be put in place to make changes. So, but data entry, update units. So data re-entry, update units. So when there are frequent updating and dealt, then there's going to be a red flag. There must be a red flag that this something is happening here, and then there must be a physical check or a physical confirmation on that. I don't know if I answered the question partially.
Yes, I got it. So I have another question,
All right.
and it's about the inbuilt. I was one that asked the question the other day that
Yes.
can we use a third-party
Yes.
analytical tool,
Yes.
right? So now you said it's possible to do all of those things within the system.
Yes.
So is it that will be customized for the organization, or how deep is the analysis that the system can accommodate? I don't know if you understand, you get that. In case
Yes.
you want
Yes.
some causal relationships or deep analysis, do you think the system can accommodate that?
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Yes. Now, we say there are two levels of customization. There are two levels. There is a development. There is customizing. So development gives you the levity to bring in. When we're looking at the implementation cost, there is a cost that is called development. So you have this idea that, okay, I need to do a deep algorithm that has to do with data analysis that is needed. So the system permits you to adopt or to bring in a developer, or for you to write SAP to develop certain systems for you. So that is permissible. You can allow, it's customizable. There are some, we see the different packages. So if you have time, you can go through the different packages and see what are their features. So if you look at the case study we're trying to look at for the first example, let me just share. We saw at the retail company. Yes, we see one of their solutions they have is SAP forecasting and replenishment application. So when we are talking about everything that has to do with forecasting your demand, forecasting uh, uh, your customer behavior, replenishment model, inventory, and all that. You see this application built for that. So also some other applications, CSAP POS data management, that has to do with payments. So that is a solution. So instead of you having a POS manager or having a third-party POS manager, like say you want to have one of those providers, so you have like a package that's already in the system. So provided any of the system is not there, then you cannot sit down with a developer and say, okay, can you develop a code that can run this for me? So that is permissible under that. So customizing is different, developing is different based on your. So we've seen that in one of these slides when we're talking about integration, when we talk about industrial specific. I'm trying to look for that slide. Industrial specific, some of the benefits that comes with it are industrial specific. So based on what you need, based on what are your demands, so that can be done. So that can be done. You see BSAP business all the one. You see cross industry packages. You will see designed to meet industrial specific needs as one of the premises. So depend on what you want. So if then there's no developer that can do that, by venture you need to now write SAP to now probably there's a way they can do that, probably to have an attachment, an API that can now handle that for you based on your specific industrial need. I don't know whether that clarified or that answered the question.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Oh, all right, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes, any other question, please? Class, any other question? Clarification? All right, let's take this question. Sorry, let me put up this question. Yes, it says, which of the following software costs can be incurred in enterprise systems project? There are two correct answers. Which of the following software costs can be incurred in enterprise systems project? Let's say database management is 1, ongoing maintenance charge is 2, server is 3, and the last one, project management, is 4. Just chat in your answer. Is it 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or what combination do you think? There are two correct answers here. So what do you think is the answer? So you can chat in your answer, or you can, if you want to do a voice, okay, you can just unmute and let me hear you. So waiting for your answers. Which do you think are the software costs? Okay, let me see reactions here. Okay, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 3, okay, 1 and 3. Okay, 3 is not an answer. 3 is not part of the answer. So all of us choosing 3, we are wrong. Server is taken as hardware. So it's hardware. So ongoing maintenance charge, yes. So we have, let's confirm 2. 2, then project management, and then database management. So if we go by elimination, project management has to do with part of implementation cost. So it's not, so I think the best answer here is database management and ongoing maintenance charge, 1 and 2. Yes, 1 and 2. Thank you. Yes, yes. I think I've seen a lot of answer 1 and 2. Yes, you are correct. Database management system and then ongoing maintenance charge. Yes. Thank you very much for today's class. Let's keep engaging on the WhatsApp platform. Let's keep, if there are any challenges, just feel free to let us know, and then we will address that. So a time will come where you'll be onboarded. I don't know whether they've shared us the login. I'll speak with Prof and see where we can do that. So you can see how some of these things we are talking about, the interface platform look like, how you can start navigating, see the different modules that are involved and what you can do on that platform. All right, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for being in class today. I will see the next time.